Stick around, ladies and gentlemen. We knocked out an alligator jambalaya.
HDTV don't mean that much to me, 'cause I got higher definition in my reality.
Time to get your pot heated up. All right, so I'm going to turn this dial down to maybe like a medium-low setting. Let it heat up. So what you see here is roughly a little over a pound of some fresh alligator meat and some alligator sausage, which is probably a little over a pound as well. I'm going to get that alligator meat cut up into some diced pieces and slice up the sausage. Just like that. Man, that looks good. I want to say this is a jalapeno alligator sausage. We're going to get this meat seasoned up with some paya seasoning. So I go ahead and sprinkle a generous portion of paya seasoning over the top of this alligator meat. And then I get it tossed around, just let it sit. Next, it's time to get crack-a-lacking on these beautiful vegetables right here. I've got a bunch of green onions. They were kind of all over the place. A little messy looking, but they work. And then next I got 2 sticks of celery, 1 green bell pepper, and 2 yellow onions. And I'm going to chop them up just like this. Paya! And that, my friends, is how you shed no tears when chopping up them onions. Let me get the rest of this stuff knocked out. So I like to start off with a little bit of cooking oil in the pot. It allows the pot to get coated evenly. Then I drop in that alligator, let it sit for a little bit before I toss it around. And after it has sat for a few minutes, then you can start to move it. If you move it too quick, the meat's just going to stick to the bottom of the pot. So we cook this down for roughly 10 to 15 minutes, just get browned up on all sides. After browning up the alligator, we remove it from the pot and put it into a bowl off on the side. Just a few scoops at a time. Next, I drop in that jalapeno alligator sausage. I think this actually is a jalapeno cheese sausage. Nonetheless, we cook it down, brown it up, get this house smelling good. So I add a little bit of water to this pot right here. Since I'm dealing with some lean meat, just want to make sure nothing's burning on the bottom. Just kind of break up some of that bottom right here. And then brown up this sausage in that. All that grat's going to form again once the water cooks out, and I'll use that to cook down my vegetables. But I got this sausage looking good now, cooking down. So now I remove the sausage from the pot and put it in the bowl off to the side. Just another few scoops at a time. And as you can see, the browning is forming once again. And now it's time to drop our vegetables. So I let the vegetables sit for a little bit, then I start tossing them around. They're going to sweat out and pull up all that goodness from the bottom. After a couple minutes of cooking down, I add 3 beef bouillon cubes. Booyah! Happy thoughts, ladies and gentlemen. I'll toss those around in there, they'll break apart, and add great flavor to these vegetables. At this point, I'm going to get my oven preheated to 300 degrees. When my vegetables are looking brown and soft, I add a tablespoon of minced garlic. And I get that stirred up in there. As you can see, that browning's forming once again, so I add a little bit of water here, and then it slightly starts to boil. And when it does that, that's when I know I can start pushing it around and break up the bottom. So I didn't add any more seasoning to this. I know I probably could have, but that sausage had a lot of seasoning in it, and then so did the meat with the paya seasoning. So right here, I'm adding 4 cups of water. And just stir that around and then add all the meat back to the pot. Got to be real careful here because you don't want to splash all over the place. Looks good. At this point, I'll add 2 cups of rice. And then I'll get that stirred in there. Just push that down, move it around. All incorporated. Once I've got the rice incorporated thoroughly, I then add a tablespoon of this Poirier's Louisiana style hot sauce. And then 1 tablespoon of some browning sauce. You do you. And then I stir that in there, get that mixed in really good. At this point, you want to bring it up to a boil. So I got to raise my heat here to a high heat. Once this liquid has reached a boil, I will then cover it up, turn my fire off, and move this thing to the oven. I'll let that cook for 1 hour. When the 1 hour mark is up, we're going to pull this bad boy out the oven. You want to let it sit for 5 minutes before you open it up. After 5 minutes, you uncover, Whoo, man, that thing is steaming nice. And at this point, you want to fluff your rice around. So you get underneath that side wall, under the bottom, and start moving that rice upward towards the top. You get it all pushed around. Stir it real good, and then you are ready to serve, ladies and gentlemen.
Get down.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. All right, y'all, let's do a little run through. I'm gonna start it off humming.
All right, so here it is, ladies and gentlemen. An alligator jambalaya. You know, a lot of people have been asking me to do something with alligator for a long time now. And it's not like I've been avoiding it because I don't want to. I'm more of a chicken and pork kind of guy. You know, I mean, you know, alligator is available right here in our backyard. So, it's, you know, I've had it many times. And I generally just like chicken and pork better, but that's just my preference. There are many people who just love alligator and they want me to cook with it. You know, the cool thing is you can get it around here. So, you know, if you want to get some and you're here, you can. But I'm going to go ahead and take a bite of this. Hopefully I did everything I could to make it as good of a jambalaya as I normally do with chicken and pork. There's a piece of alligator right there. Ooh, still a little hot. I'm going to burn my mouth. Let's go. Yeah, I mean, that tastes like jambalaya, man. It's good. You know, it's almost like pork to me. I find gator could be a cross between chicken and pork. It's probably a little tougher like pork would be, but I guess more on like the chicken flavored side maybe. But yeah, this is great. You know, it's really good. That one was pretty tender. All right, so let's try this sausage here. I was a little worried about this sausage, you know, being that it's like a jalapeno cheese sausage, but it was an alligator sausage, so I thought, well, let's keep the theme going, you know what I'm saying? I'll tell you what, there's no shy of smokiness in that sausage. You could smell it when I opened it. It just had this great smoky smell to it, and it's even coming through as I eat it. But, you know, overall, this is good. I mean, this is a good jambalaya. Well, that is a wrap, ladies and gentlemen. That is an alligator jambalaya for your pleasure. You know, if you decide to make you one, you come across some alligator meat, you can go ahead and make this jambalaya according to the way I did it. As I always say, you do you. Do what makes you happy. Change it up however you like. But I think overall, you'll be happy with it. You know, it came out really good. I mean, it tastes as good as any jambalaya I've ever made. You know, and to be honest, if I didn't tell you it was gator, you probably would think it's just pork or even chicken. So, but yeah, all in all, I'm very thrilled about this. Don't forget, if you want to check out my cookbook, go to CajunNinjaBook.com where you can find all the great recipes that I've done in the past, along with some new ones. I don't necessarily have alligator jambalaya in there. However, you can follow my jambalaya recipe in the book and make this right here. But other than that, I got nothing else for you. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'll see you next time.